Hello, this is Off the Court, your regular look at all things netball from Sky Sports. We are looking back on the England-South Africa series. Coming up, we've got players, we've got goodbyes, and the perfect seven. We're going to make Tamsin Greenway analyse it. But if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert, we're going to tell you all that happened. Another spoiler alert, you may have noticed that there's no Tamsin Greenway next to me. That's because she's gone off the court to on the court, and we find her near some very sweaty players.
Okay, we're here in Nottingham. The decider has finished. England are the winners of the South Africa series. A great way to end this season before the Christmas break. There were 2-1 up in this series, and you can see the fans that are still here and some of the players as well around. There's Imogen Allison on her stars up. We're going to try and grab him. Look how happy the fans are. Imo, we need to have a quick chat. Can we just say how amazing were the fans here today?
Oh, they were brilliant. They really kept us going in the game today. It was fantastic.
I saw a few times you were all going like lifting the crowd and getting them noisy. Were they good enough for you?
They were more than good enough today. They really got us over the line.
And how important was it to have a home series, to play in front of the fans before Christmas and to get that win?
Yeah, it was super important. I mean, the girls had been over to New Zealand. Like, some of the girls hadn't even had a home series before, so it's really incredible for them to experience it. And yeah, we love having them.
Amazing. Girls, can you just, you're on telly first of all, but how good was Imo today?
Amazing.
Thanks, Imo. I'll let you carry on with your signings and autographs. Brilliant. So you can just see how important it is. We're going to come down here. Oh, let's go and see if we can grab Al. I mean, there were 6,000 people in the arena today. We've had the biggest selling crowds for a series. And it was, hello. And it's been absolutely mega. Al, we have to grab you. Oh, hang on, picture. We don't get her very often because she's usually sunning herself down in Adelaide. But Al, how good was that victory today?
Oh, it was really good. We showed some guts in there. They really threw it at us, and we just showed a lot more composure today compared to the other two tests. So I'm really proud of how we put our performance out there and showed the world what we can do.
And you and Sasha Glasgow, we talked about that combination. We wanted that to work. We saw more of it today. Were you happy with that?
Super happy with that. I think it's been building. We've not had that much time together, so to be able to build on it test on test has been really lovely, and I just love playing with all three of them, and yeah, just to try and solidify that today in the circle with Sasha was amazing.
And to get that win before Christmas, you've now got the Nations Cup coming up. How important was that?
Oh, it's super important, especially to end 2023, if that's the year, to end that on a high. It's really nice, and to try and see where we can push now in 2024, and yeah, face the Australia, New Zealand, Uganda, see what we can do against them guys in January.
Well, I'll let you enjoy the fans because you don't get this very often, but well done, congratulations. Oh, we've got some more. Okay, so here I am with Player of the Series and Player of the Match, Fran Williams. Lots of titles to your names. You're so good at multitasking, you can carry on if you like. I mean, how special has this series been for you in particular?
Oh, it's been so special. I think, to be a part of a new group and to be able to still come out on top and grind out some really competitive games, I think that just shows the growth and potential that we've got within the England setup right now.
Well, Thurber spoke really highly of you, to just say how much you've come out of yourself, and obviously that she's seen you in the last sort of few years working with you, how important an opportunity like this was going to be to captain. Have you absolutely cherished this moment?
Yeah, it's a really special moment, and I definitely don't take it for granted. But I also think the squad is just amazing. They latch on to anything that anyone says, and they adapt and kind of go with the flow, and I think that's just what you need. People are ready to learn in this team, and that's what's exciting. They're also so harsh on themselves, some of those young ones, and I think that shows how much learning and how much potential they've got within them.
So quick one then, how do you bring that positivity back to the group when they're always glass half empty?
Got to remind them how good they are, I think, but no one likes losing, and we're such competitive athletes, and I think yesterday really cut hard when we weren't able to chase, and we had that opportunity to win, and we learned a lot from that, but we're definitely going to be learning a lot from winning, and I want this team getting really comfortable winning from early in the cycle.
Quick mention to the fans, just how good have they been this series?
Oh, on fire. On fire. They've been so loud, it's felt like a party in here, and we're constantly reminding each other as a team to look up, enjoy it, embrace that, and I really do think it gives us those lifts. We've had a few buzzer beaters in this series, and I think they're the moments that we really celebrate with the fans.
Perfect. Well, it's certainly shown. Congratulations, Fran, and enjoy your short break.
Thank you.
Oh, Hallie, here we go, Hallie. Thanks, Joe. Okay, so Hallie, winners medal round there. I mean, Jess there, we was talking about how much the squad were buzzing getting a series win. How did it feel to be part of that group?
Oh no, great. I think as well with the new group that we have, it was just nice to be able to build those connections, come on court and smash it. After yesterday, we learned a lot from it and we just had a bit more grit today and we just wanted to grind and hustle it through when we did exactly that. Even though it was a close match, I think we just went over the edge and that was great from us.
You can see from this squad how tight-knit you are. It flashed to the bench a few times. Liv Sheen was giving hugs all around, and every time you guys get captured on camera, there's like a dance or something that's happening.
Yeah.
How is that been so important for you guys to be part of the group?
No, I think it's great. Like, it's good having a good team, but if you haven't got those connections off court, you're not going to be really great on court. And the fact we trust each other, we love each other off court, is really then replicated on court. You can see it from the aura that we all give off, and we just want to do well for each other. So it's great.
Absolutely. And one more thing, when you're doing that, the fans get so involved. Is that really important for you guys to take these guys on the journey?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, they are our 8th player, and I think it's just nice to be able to be here and play for them, and they're supporting us, and that's all we can do for them as well. So yeah, no, it's great.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Hang on, we got some more. We're coming down. Fumi. Right, let's go and find Fumi. Fumi has to talk to me because I'm always raving about her. The fans' favourite. Where is she? Hang on, we found her. We spotted her. Fumi, I'm sorry, I'm going to embarrass you here, but hi Fumi, how you doing? I mean, that was pretty impressive today. I mean, the last quarter in particular, the amount of intercepts you got, and there we talked about how you set the intent for the whole game. Did it feel like that out there?
I feel like they gave us a job. We knew what we had to do, and we just had to go out there and do it, and we trusted each other. And yeah, well, like I really knew what I had to do, just work harder on goal attack, and I think I did that today.
Well, game 3, you kept them to 50 goals, which is the best we've seen in the Test series so far. I mean, how much work have you been doing as a defensive unit?
So much. We did so much behind the scenes, so much clips. Oh yeah, so much work behind the scenes. Like I literally was on huddle all day last night. All of us working together, thinking out what else we could do to turn over more ball, and I feel like we really showed that in the game.
Well, you see how noisy it was. I've been saying this. We wanted to get in here and just show how important the fans are. I mean, you are a fan's favourite. I think all the intercepts and everything, yeah, they're all nodding in the background for me. Are you absolutely buzzing playing in this kind of arena?
This is amazing. Like every time I'm here, I'm so honoured, so grateful. I played with my girls today, one of my post girls, and all the others. We had so much more fun. It was a hard match, but we came out on top, and we're so happy for that.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy the win and enjoy your Christmas break.
Thank you so much. You too.
Cool. So that is it. You get the behind the scenes here with all the players, chatting to the fans. You can see how long that goes on afterwards. The fans have been incredible this whole series, and so have England.
I mean, I'm going to start the petition now for fan cam with Tamsin cam. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue. Brilliant. You are now back from on the court to off the court. We're going to give you some time to reflect on what you've seen in your life over these last 3 games and a little bit about where we look now to the future in the Nations Cup coming up in January. A 2-1 win, brilliant with the crowds. I think it was over 20,000 people saw these 3 matches over the 3-game series. For you, that was one of the positives. But what do you think England gained from this series?
Well, that is a big question, Caroline. You've gone heavy on the first one. Look, the 2-1 win was brilliant, going to the decider, the record crowds we had, the impact of some of those key players that performed out in New Zealand coming into this group. I think there was lots to take away from that. But I was asked before what I wanted to see, and I wanted to see a really dominant performance from England, and I don't think we saw that. I think going across the games, won the first one, won the last one, lost the middle one. But out of the quarters, we only won 4 quarters across the 3 games. 4. Like, that's crazy. So we had all these record crowds watching South Africa dominate in some of these quarters, actually. And I think that's going to be quite a scary wake-up call for this England side, because I feel a little bit we're on a roller coaster. You know, we go and have impact in New Zealand, and then we lose the second game heavily and then come back. And I feel the South Africa series has been a little bit of the same. And I know we're in year 1 building, but at some point that level of consistency, because this is performance, this is the top competition that you can play for. I think we need to find that consistency, which is lacking.
I'm going to grab myself a hot drink and plump up a pillow and watch as you take through each area of the court. But before that, you just said there, this is year 1 building. But it's not, though, is it? As in the time that's come before, would you expect this team to be further ahead in year 1 than they are now?
Well, I just think we get mixed messages, don't we? Because, you know, we talk about want to be world beaters and want to be up there, and we talk about this amazing program that we have, and then we put out performances like we did, and I think there's loads of different layers to it, and I'm really glad we're trying people. But I think what's quite unusual is that no one else, none of the other top nations seem to be doing this. So it might work, and I keep saying this. I'm not saying it's wrong. It might work in the future that we've tried everybody. And, you know, on that game, these guys, because they've had that exposure of 1 quarter here or 2 quarters there, they come out and perform. But we don't know that. We absolutely don't. And you only have to look at the improvement New Zealand have made by choosing Midcourt. They've gone with Maddie Gordon. They've gone with Mila. By playing that out, by giving Kelly Jory the time out there at goalkeeper, they went on to beat Australia in 2 games. You know, you only look at the Australia team that they've picked for Nations Cup and what they've done of the World Cup. You know, if you can leave someone like Amy Parmenter out the squad, then you're making tough decisions. I'm not sure we're doing the same. And I am worried about how this is going to affect some of our youngsters as well. I'm not sure they were managed the best across this series when you actually break it down to the stats.
What it all comes down to is the communication between the coaches and those younger players. If they're being told prior to it, this is what's going to happen over the series, then you're settled in your mind, right? And you know what to expect. Let's have a look at each area of the court then, because there were huge positives. You've spoken about the young players, but defensively, and what I want to see from each area, Tamsin, is whether you think we're settled or we're anywhere near to getting settled on who's going to be in those positions. Layla Gusketh in the Sky coverage pointed out, you know, you've had Jiva Mental there for about the last 50 years. So, of course, there's going to be change in that defensive end. Yeah, poor old G. But are you any closer, and have you learned anything from this series on where England go defensively?
Well, Fumi needs to play in goal defence unless we're going to do some serious work with her at wing defence. So that's the first thing. But you've got a big issue because your captain and your player of the series and the player of the last match, and actually the player that came up with the big intercepts and mattered, is Fran Williams. Is she a keeper long term? I would challenge how she's going to match up against Grace Nweke. So that would be my first concern there. I don't think we found a keeper of this series. It was a struggle because obviously, sadly, Rouse had to withdraw for personal reasons. So, you know, Hallie got a bit of an opportunity in the first game, didn't really get as much across the series as it went on, didn't play at all in the third. Jada, we saw moments of her. I don't think we've seen the very best yet. So I would say Fumi and Fran are a definite. How we play them across the series and against certain teams, interesting, because I don't think they'll match up in that combination against everybody, but they will against certain teams. So I think we've got options there, but we have to find a keeper and we have to find it quickly before Nations Cup, because if you think about the shooters we're going to come up against, Mary Chollock, Grace Nweke, and Sophie Garbin or Danelle Wallam, like we're going to have to work that out. Oh, just your regular shooters. And you know, we haven't had that chance against Grace yet. You know, she got injured at the World Cup. I think it would have been a very different story if she'd been on that court for all teams. And she didn't play when we went out there and played in that series. So that is a problem. She's a better player from the youngster that we first met.
Now, you're not saying that there isn't a goalkeeper there. You're saying we want to see that consistency now of using a player in that position.
Yeah, and you've talked about Jiva, right? We knew. We've been saying this for ages. And this is not just this regime. It's before as well. Like, what have we done? So we've tried Alice Harvey. Have we given her a fair shot? I don't know. We've tried Hallie. Did she get a fair shot against this series? What I want to see, and this is what I keep challenging, is if you know Fran and Fumi are brilliant and they're winning you loads of ball, which they did, play them in front of Hallie and let Hallie play the whole series. You know she's going to get beaten at times, but give her the opportunity to thrive. We lost that second game anyway, so why don't we just sit the other two out in front of her and go, right, you're going to go and we're going to coach you through this and we're going to give you an opportunity, because now she sat on the bench in that last game and she probably doesn't know any clearer where she's at as well. So, you know, we need to know come Nations Cup, and I think we missed an opportunity of getting someone out there to just play solidly for 3 games, unless you're seriously going to tell me Fran Williams is the keeper taking us forward, and she might be.
Looking forward from that, then, as you say, to go forward, in front of them, wing defence, centre. I mean, this is where it starts to get interesting when you go wing defence, centre, wing attack. You look at potential players that could come back in, thinking of Nat Haythornthwaite, that wing attack position. Where do we look going forward for there? But let's start with wing defence, centre. Who did you want to see more of? Who do you want to see in those positions? Who put their hand up and said, look at me?
I want to see Imogen in wing defence. I think she's an absolutely brilliant wing defence, and I think we can impact her into centre, but I don't think she is our key starting centre for 60 minutes if we don't have to change someone. So I thought she was brilliant in wing defence. I think she's had a great series again. I gave a player in the match in the first game, and I just think she's been excellent, but I like her in that wing defence position. She's in for me. Amy Carter, I thought she was exceptional in that last test, and then I have to challenge why she sat in a crowd for 2 games, especially when we lost one of those games. You know, she proved it out in New Zealand. She's proved it at Thunder. I would presume Greg is going to play them that way round. Amy Carter at centre, Imogen at wing defence. So I would like to see Amy Carter in that squad. And given that game, because again, we missed an opportunity for her to have 3 tests against South Africa, and I almost would have flipped it. I would have liked to have seen her start in the first game and in the second game, and then bring Ellie Ratu in for that third game and go, right, we've sealed the series, you come and play with Imogen behind you and Hannah Joseph in front of you and play the game out and see what happens. So it was an interesting way of doing it, especially when you've sat a player in the 12 and then brought her straight into the starting 7. But she did, and she performed. Those 2 for me are in. This is where it gets tricky now, doesn't it? Because Hannah Joseph, I thought, again, had a great series, but is Nat going to be back in the mould? And if Nat is, she's got to be brought in. Do you want to take 2 out and out wing attacks? You probably can with Ellie and Imo with that kind of crossover. But, you know, I don't think there's space for Liz Scholes, Hannah Joseph and Nat. So, you know, again, those decisions need to be made. And I did feel sorry for Liz and Ellie Ratu. And I think when you look at the stats and when I say about protecting youngsters, this is where I'm coming from. Those 2 in the first 2 tests, I think they got a couple of quarters each. They made 9 errors between them. 9. That's not unusually high for youngsters coming in and playing against an exceptional defensive unit. Imo and Hannah Joseph, between them in those first 2 tests, only made 3 errors. So my argument would be play Ellie Ratu with Hannah Joseph. So when Hannah's making no errors during a game, Ellie can make 3. And that's okay. They won't lose. But if you whack an Ellie Ratu and Liz Scholes together and they make 6 errors between them in 1 quarter, that's a problem. And this is where I would challenge, you know, are you looking after those players? Because also you have to look at Liz and Ellie. They've come off the back of a season where they weren't the starting players at their team. They didn't play all year at wing attack centre, learning in these crucial moments. So they're almost learning on the job, and I just think they should be helped more.
Welcome to At Home with Tamsin, your tactical analysis of everything in your life. And next, she's going to analyse how I go shopping. Look, we're going to go now to that attacking end, because we were all full of beans before this series.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about Sasha Glasgow, Eleanor Cardwell, boom, welcome to the world. Where do you find your way through that, just briefly?
Can I say I was underwhelmed? I love them both. I think they're absolutely brilliant. We haven't found they haven't clicked yet, and that's normal. That's what I would expect, because you know they haven't had loads of time together. They're still developing their styles, and they're both really dominant. So I think they can be absolutely lethal, a bit like a Helen and Elle. They can be. We just need to find out how that works together. And Sash will need to work on that goal attack game in the England style, because you know, coming off the back of Suncourt with who she's had to play with, it's very different. It's a rotating circle, so she's going to have to work on that. I think there'll be magic moments. What I did love was Barry Neal. I think she was brilliant. I think, again, she stepped up, cool as you like. Even, you know, she's performed, she's been impact, she's seen out quarters, and she's been super, super confident. So I think she's been brilliant. But if we're going to do the Sasha Elle thing and then the Helen thing, we've got to work out the differences they all bring, because you could potentially take Sash, Elle, Helen and Berry, right? You could do that as a 4, but that 4 have got to offer you something different, because there's no real target. It's all going to be rotating. I thought Elle, by the way, just different class. She's brilliant. I absolutely love her.
Absolute gravy. A leader on and off the court as well. So much to delve into. Can I ask a little favour of you? Maybe can we put up on social who your 7 would be if we were going to go blink right tomorrow, Nations Cup? Have you got that? Okay, we'll do that at Sky Netball. I'm just making stuff up as they go along because maybe they can't do that. But we're going to do it, right? If not, we'll just verbalise it as she pretty much has. Briefly on South Africa, the end of the Norma Plummer era. How would you sum her up?
Brilliant. What she's done with that group again, exceptional. Loved her comments across the whole series as well, and tactically how she got them to play in this game. They were a nightmare. Like I said, they won 8 quarters across those games. 8. That's really, really good. Thought the injection of people like Strucker was amazing. Stradham at the back. She's only going to get better going out to New Zealand as well. I loved how they were playing the 1-2s through the court to try and cut us open, which was really effective at times. And of course, Carla Pretorius, just there when you need her, a bit like our Fran Williams. So again, some real key players for them. Loads to work on. What will be interesting is the new era without Norma, how they keep that intensity and how they can tactically grow. Because I keep saying it, they are a scary nation. They have got more than a 7 now. And they're just going to get better. That coaching gig, that's a good coaching gig, whoever gets it next.
Leave that dramatic pause in there. No, she's here. She's here for the long haul. When you think about South Africa, and a quick word to applaud those that put the series together with the blend of they've got old going, new coming, the coaching setup, everything as well. All that's going to happen with South Africa. It was such a well-matched series in terms of where both teams are looking to go in the future. And you're right, when their league is properly up and going, and the support that they've been promised is there, South Africa a real force for the future. Speaking of forces for the future, we are going to bring you the Australia, New Zealand, Uganda when they come to town to England in January for the Nations Cup. We'll speak briefly about that in a moment. But one of the real highlights is we're going to have some rule changes. Would you like to demonstrate what the rules will look like if you're just listening to this and not watching? You're doing the wind the bobbin up sort of motion. No, what would you call that when you do the song for the kids?
I'm not singing it. You're not getting me to sing. It's not happening. I'm very good at that one though.
Briefly, the rules are changing. It's going to affect international netball from January and then domestically from later in the year. So we won't see it in the Netball Super League. But your highlights, what are you looking forward to? What's changed that you really like?
No more faking injuries. So the tactical changes. Obviously, no more my little finger hurts. What was funny is I had a conversation with Gary Burgess. He went, "You're going to love this one, Greenway." And it's the goal going through. So when it's left their hands, it counts. There's no more, no goal. Which, I mean, when we're talking about fan engagement, that's brilliant. And you look at these games, they were down to the wire, three goals, 2 goals in all of these tests. You want those last minute. And actually, Elle Caldwell did some classics across this series where she nailed the shot in the dying second. So that is a big one for me as well.
Yeah, you don't have to wait anymore for the ball to drop through the net and then not find its way out as well. The minute it's left, or the second it's left your fingers, it's a goal, and then we get the hype around it as well. Looking forward to the Nations Cup then, to the change in rules. There's some great videos, actually, if you go on World Netball. They explain all the minutiae of the rules changing. New Zealand, Uganda, Australia coming to town. Just briefly, Tamsin, you mentioned it. Grace Nweke in New Zealand's a very different prospect.
Absolutely, for everyone, and she's just getting better and better, isn't she? So she's going to be dominant for the next 10-15 years, however long she wants to play the game. It'll be a real challenge for England, and this will be a test, right? We've come off the back of the New Zealand series, now the South Africa series. We have to have tried everyone that Just LB wants to have seen. So now she's got to bring that group together, because surely this is performance time. Surely this is where we go, let's have a crack at all these top teams. And I know you won't come out for the Nations Cup and say I want to win it, but I'd have liked to have seen that against South Africa. I'd have liked to have been like 3-0, let's go for it. And if you don't, you don't. But just kind of a bit of a shift in mentality to take us all along with you as well. We want to be inspired. I want to be going, yes, come on England, let's do this. And I think we have moments of that, but I'm not sure we have it all the time. So Nations Cup will be a real test and challenge for us, up against the very best. And we talk about rebuilding, the other squads are as well. So, it's been quite interesting to see their take on it and how they've done it and how we actually match up, because it'll be a real example of where we've got to get to if we don't. And if we do, wow, it's going to be exciting.
Woohoo! Do you want me to do you a little song that would encompass all the nations? I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. What I will do is say a merry, happy Christmas and all of the festive period to anyone that's celebrating it. Tamsin, looks like you are. I mean, that is a highly decorated tree behind you. Enjoy it. And you've had a brilliant year talking all things netball with us, and we can't wait to analyse it with you as well for the Nations Cup when it comes up in January. You can watch all those matches, the whole Nations Cup across Sky Sports. It's from the 20th of January that weekend. Get your tickets too. Get down there cheering. If not, sit at home and shout along with us too. We are sending Tamsin back off the court to On It after she's come off the court from back on it as well. That will help. Until then, goodbye for now.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.